Hello, wherever this is Jane's videos. The Walmart Halloween 2022 animatronic Headless Horseman. Now this guy is so cool. If you don't know, I am a huge fan of the Headless Horseman. He's one of my favorite Halloween icons, as I do believe he is the epitome of everything that is Halloween. He's the icon of Halloween. Okay, first things first, we have his shoes, which I don't know how to feel about these. I really don't, because they are very cheap plastic. Yeah, that's very cheap. That's surprising. This guy is Seasonal Visions, and that plastic is pretty cheap. Which is surprising, because usually it's mostly just the clown animatronics that have the really cheap plastic. But for some reason, they're not the best, but it's not that big of a deal. He is going to have some boot covers that go over those. I was about to say he should have boots, and then I remembered that he has the boot covers. This is his arm that's going to hold the pumpkin. As you can see, it's got the wires and stuff. This is his clothes and his instructions. There's his boot things. Here's his pants. Nothing much to say about those, but his coat, which we're going to talk about later on, that's a really good quality. That's not cheap or anything. That's a really thick fabric, and it's got even, that is so cool. It's got like I don't know why it's a United States symbol on there when he's working against the United States, but he's got a little symbol on there. And then his neck ruffle, which has some blood on it, which I think is great. The neck ruffle, I think, is awesome. I love that style. Here's his jack-o'-lantern. It's pretty large. It looks cool. I like it a lot. Pretty awesome. I don't really like how it's like sparkly inside. I don't know why they chose that. I guess to give it a more shimmering effect. But you can also open it up on the back in case you need to repair it, which is good. It's always nice. And then we have his poles, which SVI setups are easy, but I'm going to need to use the instructions, because I've heard that there are some parts that if you don't look at the instructions, you might get thrown off. Here's some foam pieces here. Those are leg foam. There's another arm. I'm gonna have to do his body first. Shouldn't be too bad. There we go. There's his body. This full mechanism here. But his neck stump looks pretty cool. Does have some blood on there, which is always great to see. Some gore. It's not like super detailed, but I'm glad that they included it. And we have his axe, which this blood looks awesome. It's very glossy. It's very thick too. It like kind of sticks out a little bit. That blood is cool. I like that a lot. And he's got a pretty big axe. And if you noticed, his hands are actually molded to both the pumpkin and the axe. That's kind of strange, but there you have it. You have that. And last but not least, actually this is not last but not least, but this is the adapter. Last but not least is the base, which he does have some supports right here. This guy is really cool, possibly the best, one of the best Headless Horseman animatronics ever made. Well, I take that back. He definitely is one of the best. For a full standing Headless Horseman, I think he's absolutely the best. The only competition he has is the Home Depot one on the horse, because that one's incredibly cool. But I'd say the horse is what makes that one super cool. As a horseman itself, I think this is the best one. It has the best overall appearance and everything. It's got a pretty cool animation, and it's just really nice looking overall, and I think that's the main thing I like about it, is it just looks so good. It's such a good looking horseman and a great representation of the character. I love the red coat, which is exactly what he would be wearing, seeing as he was a Hessian soldier, so he was working for the British during the Revolutionary War. He would be wearing a red coat, so it's very accurate. The detailing on him, they spared no expense on either. He's actually got like war buttons on his coat or his vest that have like army symbols on them. I'm not sure the exact symbol because I'm not really an expert in those things, but they look really good. His ruffle around his neck looks great too, and it's even got some blood on it, which I really like. His stump on his neck lights up a reddish orange, which is great. I love when they do that. It's very old school. A lot of old animatronics used to have that, like Heads Up Harry and things, so I think that's pretty cool. His jack-o'-lantern isn't the coolest thing ever. It could be better. I don't like the sparkles in the eyes and the mouth and the nose. It's just weird looking to me, but it's not bad. I really like his axe. I think it looks great. It looks pretty real for an animatronic, and the blood on it looks really cool. I like the blood a lot. I'm glad it's not clean and it actually has some blood. And his boots are just your average SVI boots, but he's got some boot covers which add to it, make it look pretty cool. Here's a better look at his jack-o'-lantern. Like I said, it's kind of sparkly in it. I never really care for the jack-o'-lanterns that have that too much. I don't know why they do it, but sometimes they just do. I don't know why, they just do. Here's a closer look at his buttons he has. As you can see, they do have designs on them, which, again, they did some pretty great detail on this guy. This does not look like something you'd see from Walmart, which really shows that Walmart is stepping up their game in the Halloween industry. He is a pretty tall animatronic too. He's about 7 feet tall, I'd say, a little bit over 7 feet tall, so he's pretty big. I have him next to the lava demon right now, and his pumpkin's leaning forward, yet it's almost reaching the top of the lava demon's horns. So he's pretty big, and that's obviously helps a lot by the fact that he's holding up his pumpkin, but even without holding up the pumpkin, he's fairly tall, which I think is good, because the horseman should be a tall, imposing figure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in some stories he is described as a big, bulky ghost or apparition who's pretty tall and imposing. So, very well done there on making him a big headless horseman.
When the wind keeps you up at night, and you hear what you think is the cracking of the trees, don't believe what your parents tell you. For it is I riding in the dark. I told you that the dead do not stay on the ground, and I am living proof. Time for you to run along, lest I use your fresh head to replace my jack-o'-lantern. I seek vengeance for the ones who took my head and left me in that shallow grave. And revenge is a meal best served cold. I suggest you not stand in my way. It is only you. Allow me to light your way with my jack-o'-lantern head. Have you seen my real head lying around? I didn't think so. I wouldn't be caught dead in a dismal place like this. My faithful steed is getting restless. We have searched for my head in this barren land for many years, and our frustrations are reaching a fever pitch. This desolate place is good for no one, so run for your life and do not look back.
He's an overall really cool animatronic, especially if you love the Headless Horseman. I think he's one of the best ones out there. I do have a few issues with him. For one, he's got pretty good side-to-side turning. It's fine. I wish he would raise and lower his axe. That's something I really want to see a Headless Horseman animatronic do. I believe the Party City one from years ago did it with its sword, but I don't really remember exactly how that one was. I'd like to see, this one would have been really cool, raising and lowering the axe. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Side-to-side turning is fine. The pumpkin animation, a lot of people don't understand it. I get what they're going for with it. It's supposed to be like he's throwing the pumpkin because in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, he kills Ichabod Crane by throwing the jack-o'-lantern head at him. And so that's clearly what's supposed to be being represented here. However, it's just kind of weird the way it does it because you can tell he's not throwing it, so it just looks like he's moving it, and it looks kind of odd. It's not a huge deal though. I mean, it's fine. Well, the only issue I really have with it is that I don't like how far the head looks down. I don't care for that too much. I wish it was positioned better because a lot of the times it's looking like straight down. I like the lighting on him. I really like the neck stump lighting up. I like the lights in the jack-o'-lantern. The audio is good audio, and I love the voice. However, I loved this voice for the Home Depot Headless Horseman. I thought it was awesome. It fits the Revolutionary War type accent very well. It has that accent. It has the vibe of a very regal soldier, and I think it fits the character for the Headless Horseman incredibly well. And the phrasing is very good too. My problem is it was used in the Home Depot Headless Horseman, so for one, if you have both such as I do, just a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, you'd probably not be putting them right next to each other anyways, but it just is kind of weird. But also, my major issue with it is that they kept the horse trotting sounds in the background, and this Headless Horseman is supposed to be the horseman when he's not on the horse. And so, sure, his horse would probably still be nearby him, but it's still kind of weird just hearing the horse trotting when it's not there. It's just kind of weird, and it honestly just feels kind of lazy to me that they didn't either just take the trotting out or record entirely new voice lines for him. I don't know, kind of strange. I mean, my only explanation for why they didn't is a kind of a sad explanation, but the voice actor who did this one is the same voice actor as Wacky Mole and a bunch of other animatronics, and he sadly passed away last year, and so I think a good reason to give it some leeway is that they really liked the voice on this horseman, and obviously they could not get the same actor to do it again because he is no longer with us. That's a sad little tangent, but I would say it's my explanation for this, and so I'll give them a little bit of leeway on there. I still think they could have removed the horse trotting sounds somehow. Other than that, though, I got this animatronic mostly because I think for $180 it's a pretty solid animatronic. That's not a bad price for it at all. But really just because it's such a great looking Headless Horseman. I got it for appearance because even if you don't use it as an animatronic, he just looks great. He's just a great animatronic with such a classic Halloween vibe. The Headless Horseman I've always viewed as being the mascot of Halloween. And the Headless Horseman is basically to Halloween as Santa Claus is to Christmas. I love the Headless Horseman. I adore him. He's one of my absolute favorite symbols of the holiday, always has been. And any Headless Horseman animatronic I'm immediately drawn to, but this one I feel is one of the best ones on the market, appearance-wise. And if that audio doesn't bother you, then with that as well. He's a really good one, so if you like the Headless Horseman, I recommend you get him. It is October now, so I'm not 100% sure if they're still in stock, but if they are and you see him, I recommend you get him. Though I'm pretty positive he is a pretty good seller this season, so it may be hard to find him. He may have sold out in September, and I'm not sure. But if you can, I'd say go ahead and grab him for this Halloween season because he is a great one, and he'll ship in time for Halloween for sure. I got mine within a day, so he ships very fast. So if he still is in stock and you order him online, he will absolutely arrive like 3 weeks ahead of Halloween, so you'll be fine with that. My only thing is I'm not sure if he's still in stock anymore, but I do highly recommend him if he is. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think about him in the comments below. Keep howling at the moon by werewolves.